Labas rytas.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to start this day's conference, which is devoted to the conference that was held in the Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania, and that was also held remotely, and that was called the EU, USA, and China, Where We Stand. The press conference is also attended by Bogdan Klich, who is the chairman of the Committee on Foreign and European Affairs of the Senate of the Republic of Poland, former defense minister of the Republic of Poland, and even more previously, he was a member of the European Parliament. Although today we should be talking only about the international conference, but I would like to give briefly the context. Most probably, the Lithuanian society in major Lithuanian internet portals has noticed the message by Gabrielius Landsbergis, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Lithuania, that Lithuania is withdrawing from the format 16+1, that is, from the strategy Silk Road, that is devoted to the Eastern and Central Europe. This is not news at all to Lithuania, at least for Lithuanian politicians. But it was finally declared for the wider public. Lithuania is part of the European Union. Our international conference was taking place at the beginning of the EU-US dialogue on China. In June, very soon, the EU and US will hold a summit on the agenda of which China is included. Lithuania has been taking part in the format 17+1 for 18 years. And we should not be surprised by the decision that Lithuania withdrew from this format, because the expectations of Lithuania were fulfilled neither in terms of investment nor in the access to the Chinese market for Lithuanian products. Although it should also be mentioned that Lithuania's investment in China has been growing, but if we are talking that China, when it comes to Lithuania's investment, is only in the 40th place, we should not be speaking about some major significant achievements in terms of investment. Yesterday's conference was participated by EU and US participants. So we had Jonathan Fritz from the US Congress. We also had David McAllister, the chairman from the Foreign Affairs Committee of the European Parliament. We also had Reinhard Bütikofer, who is the chairman of the European Parliament delegation for relations with the People's Republic of China. We also had Senator James Elroy Risch, who was a Foreign Relations Committee chairman, and who is also the chair of the Baltic Caucus Group in the House of Representatives. We also had Anders Fogh Rasmussen, founder of the Alliance of Democratic Foundation and former NATO Secretary General. As I have also mentioned, the conference was participated by the chairman of the Committee on Foreign and European Affairs of the Senate of Poland. We also had Lithuanian members of the Lithuanian Parliament, Emanuelis Zingeris, Radvilė Mikulėnienė, who is the Deputy Speaker of the Seimas, Mantas Adomėnas, who is the Vice Foreign Minister of Lithuania. So these were the prominent politicians of the conference, and the conference focused on several objectives. One of such objectives was to discuss the comprehensive agreement on investment that was concluded between the EU and China on the 30th of December in 2020. The negotiations have lasted for 7 years. In order for the agreement to come into force, the Parliament has to ratify it. However, the European Parliament adopted the resolution stating that until China does not lift its sanctions to the European members of Parliament, both legal entities and persons, the ratification of the agreement will be suspended. There was yet another objective of this conference: to discuss, together with the US politicians, the aspects of strengthening transatlantic cooperation vis-à-vis China, as to how we have to enhance our cooperation in order to act more efficiently with respect to China, which is becoming more aggressive, as well as with respect to Russia, which is also getting more aggressive. One of the participants of yesterday's conference, Foreign Affairs Minister of Taiwan, also made a speech. He spoke about the development of the economic relations between Lithuania and Taiwan. It is only logic. We should not be surprised by this because, well, we had some expectations that were not fulfilled for us when we were working in the format 17+1. So Lithuania was made to look for alternatives in such countries as Taiwan or South Korea. So there are plans now to open the embassy of Lithuania in Seoul. We also intend to strengthen our relations with Singapore. We do believe that the role of Japan should also be increased in our relations. Yesterday's conference, I believe, achieved its objectives. It was the first large-scale international conference on this topic that was held in the Seimas of the Republic of Lithuania and remotely. So it was the first conference, but not the last one. We are going to develop the topic further on because both the EU agenda contains this issue and it will stay on the agenda for many years to come because China is a great power which we have to see, to take account of, and we cannot ignore the changing politics of this country. This was all that I wanted to come, and now I'd like to give the floor to Senator Bogdan Klich, who is the chairman of the Committee on Foreign and European Affairs of Senate. The floor is yours, Senator.
Dear Laima, dear guests, it was indeed, it was an opportunity to have a comprehensive approach to the relationship between the European Union and China, as well as between the Atlantic community and China. I share the opinion that the united approach from the European Union is absolutely necessary, that we should concentrate not only on the agreement on investments, but also on the other aspects of our approach to China. And we should work on as much united position as possible. That's why the format 17+1 or 16+1 after the decision of Lithuanian government should be replaced by the format 27+1. 27, it means all the member states of the European Union should work and should achieve the united position concerning China. China is our main, one of our main partners, but China is also a challenge for the European community. Russia is an aggressive neighbor. China is a challenger. There is a difference between China and Russian Federation, but we should take into consideration that China is a growing global power. That's why our united position is so important. I expressed yesterday the view that also the cooperation with the United States, with the new administration, that tries to have more stable position towards China. More stable position towards China is one of the preconditions of our success. That's why before the final ratification of the by the European Parliament of the agreement that was signed in December, we should work on a new joint position with the administration of President Biden. I'm very grateful and I appreciated yesterday's exchange of views, this broad variety of insights on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. And it confirms that, once again, working together with the new administration of the United States, we can be successful. The success of Atlantic community and of European community is one of our main tasks for the future. Let me use this opportunity, Laima, also to share our opinion. When I say our, it is the Polish opinion concerning this terrorist act that took place 2 days ago in Belarus, because interception of the civil aircraft by Belarusian authorities is, of course, a terrorist act of piracy. From that point of view, together with colleagues from several parliaments, among others, Pavel Fischer from the Czech Republic, Marko Michelson, Mr. Rettingen, Charles Flanagan, Richard Holz, Zigis Pavilionis, and Senator Menendez, as well as Tom Tagenhat, we decided to issue the statement of the chairs of foreign affairs committees of respected parliaments, demanding for 3 critical issues. The first one, it was to stop flights over Belarus. And I am glad that yesterday's European Council decided to appeal to the European airlines not to fly to Belarus and from Belarus. It is a good decision. The second decision that was taken yesterday, I suppose it will be crucial for the future. It is the decision to ground all Belarusian flights by Belavia to and from territory of the European Union, to close the territory of the European Union for flights from Belarus. It is also an important decision. It is necessary that ICAO investigates the details of this modern incidents, the act of piracy, because it undermines the safety in the airspace. And it is necessary that Belarus is suspended in that international organization. We called on European Union as well as on NATO member states to extend the sanctions on the regime of Lukashenko. And I am glad that the European Council decided to broaden the set of sanctions imposed before. But we wait for including into this set of sanctions not only those who are responsible for decisions, but also those who are responsible for implementing those decisions that resulted in the wave of terror, in the wave of assaults, and in the wave of victims in Belarusian society. That's why we suppose that also those who were identified, once again, identified by Belarusian opposition that carried out the acts of violence against citizens of Belarus should be introduced into this list of sanctions. And finally, we demand political prisoners to be released. It is necessary to release all political prisoners in Belarus, not only to condemn the regime of Lukashenko and not only to call for new elections. It is necessary as a precondition to release all political prisoners, among them Roman Protasevich, who is one of the victims of this bloody system introduced by Lukashenko several years ago. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Bogdan. Ačiū labai Jums, ponas Klich.
Thank you, Mr. Klich. Are there any questions?
Ocenia format 17+1. Dziękuję.
Jadvyga, gal galėtumėt pasakyti lietuviškai, vertėjos prašo. Ačiū.
Mogę powiedzieć, jak ja oceniam format 17+1.
Klausimas, atsiprašau, I have to translate this.
All right, I can speak in English. I can express my opinion concerning this format. I will repeat that the format 27+1 is much better than 17+1 or 16+1. Because of the necessity of the European approach towards China to be unified.
Ačiū.
Thank you. No more questions as far as I can see. No questions on the screen either. Before we complete the press conference, I have a brief comment to make. I mentioned that on Saturday, Gabrielius Landsbergis, Minister of Foreign Affairs, made a comment on Lithuania's withdrawal from 17+1 format. That comment includes an invitation to neighbor countries, including Latvia and Estonia primarily, to join the move and to also access the 17+1, now 16+1 format. We have a great ally, which is a larger country than ourselves, it's Poland. And I take this opportunity as Chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Senate of Poland. Mr. Bogdan Klich takes part in our conference and is still in Lithuania, visits us. I hope that Poland will see it fit to consider this issue because, in my mind, bilateral relations with China and the format 27+1 are far better than participation in 17+1 format, which is disadvantageous and which only plays into the principle of divide and rule. This is what disintegrates the EU rather than integrates it. Thank you very much once indeed, Mr. Klich, for your participation yesterday at the conference, for your excellent presentation yesterday, for the clear message that you sent to Lithuania while speaking about on behalf of your committee and on the behalf of the Senate on the reinforcement of transatlantic relations and its importance, and by saying that only through joint efforts can we receive the wished results. Thank you for your participation in today's press conference, and we'll look forward to your coming back to Lithuania, to Vilnius again. Thank you all.